third or fourth week. I think I'm entering my fourth week. Yeah. And so I realize a lot of my days go like this now. Wake up, 6 o'clock-ish, I usually get up because we know my sleep schedule's terrible. Although I did have that day. I've talked about my sleep schedule probably. It may be the most discussed topic on this show that I bring up. It's not like anyone asks how I'm doing. I just consistently. Yeah, I'm sleeping. I did have that day last week where I was like, "No, I'm fucked," and went to bed at I think I fell asleep at 8:30 and got my 12-hour catch-up sleep. Anyway, so wake up at 6 o'clock, and there was a day last week where it just hit me because I was on here. I watched an entire movie or a documentary on this screen while I was doing shit on this screen, Exposure Network shit all morning, then go to work, 8:30, sit down again, back on a computer, just doing fucking emails and shit. I'm like, that's all I've been doing. I used to have a difference, It was my working in retail. At least it was. I was walking around.
Yeah.
Now
you're just doing the same thing.
Now I'm just doing the same shit 24/7. Yeah. And although I'm not watching second screening movies when something's I do sometimes at work. I am, however, sitting there listening to fucking podcasts, which is kind of the same. I'm just still second censoring another thing listing. Anyway, yeah. So, that's good for me.
Probably.
I think I need to get out of the office more sort of thing. But I'm just in a stage where I've just got so much fucking office desk shit to get me going in my new job, and I'm just like, oh my God. Also, everyone, I think it's just people come in and they these motherfuckers wake up at 8 o'clock or whatever and just come into work or whatever. I'm like, I've been up.
Well, I guess it's good you're doing your run walk thing, right? That kind of, also you not to be at the computer all the time.
Yeah, so I go for I periodically may also, because I get so antsy sitting down for too long, and which is also just, I think I've got worse as I've got older. The amount of time I can spend playing a video game in long periods of time without wanting to get up and at least go for a little stretch of my legs or just something is gotten shorter and shorter, I feel, as I've gotten older. Or my undiagnosed ADHD or something is just making it harder for me to sit still. But I will periodically maybe just go up and go for a quick a walk around the block or something, because I'm sick of sitting down. And on my lunch break I usually go for a walk as well, because the park's right across the road from where I am now. But then after work going for runs. So I'm sort of, hopefully that'll all helps account for it. Balance it. But man, I made a joke this week to my boss where I was like, man, we need those. They cost too much, but
desks.
I wish I had standing desks. And he was like, would you actually use it? I'm like, yeah, fucking, you'd watch me all day, up, down, up, down, up, down. But I'm sick of standing, sit down for half an hour. I'm so stand up, just be up, down all day. So, yeah, that's my, that's work. Hey.
Yep.
I don't know.
I've got nothing.
You got nothing? Cool,
as usual, it's retail just continues on.
One time come to me with something exciting. One time.
No, it's all pretty boring.
Fucking hell. You buy packs. You did buy PAX tickets, didn't you?
I did buy PAX tickets. I bought flights.
Oh my fucking God.
Because I was thinking the other day, there is a not 0% chance that flights go up exponentially. If
That's a good point.
Fuel crisis
Maybe I should buy flights. That's a very good point. You're ahead of me. That's crazy.
I mean, they could give you a fuel excess in 6 months' time, but charge you extra for the flight. I don't know.
That's a good point. I hadn't really thought about flights or booking yet because of in my mind, I'm new job, Like if I was in my
There's
old
a
job,
chance they'll be like, "Hey, we can't let you go for the entire week like you usually do."
Well, that's my thing. I'm like, I'm definitely like full stop going, right? But I'm like, usually, obviously, I want to go for the whole Melbourne International Games Week,
yeah.
like the full week. So that's the only thing I'm currently like. I should like by the end of the year have enough leave, I think, or I don't know. But that's the only I guess downside is changing jobs is I just had so much leave occur at my old job, and even using it like because I didn't take that much leave other than usually the 2 times I'd usually take leave the last 3 years or 3 years is that 1 week of games week and then like the 3-4 days to go to MIF.
MIF, yeah.
Other than that, usually any other time I was doing things, I usually played around my days off or switch days or whatever. So, I mean, the plus is, I don't know if it's a plus or a negative in this scenario. I guess it's a plus, but it's like schedule's always the same now, doing Monday to Friday. So the weekend I can guarantee. So I would just be asking for. Well, I usually don't go on the Monday. I usually get there on the Tuesday. Or the last couple of years, I don't think I've ever arrived there on. I think I usually get there Tuesday and skip the Monday. So I'd be asking for 4 days leave, which is what like
12-5 because you need the Monday after.
Oh, true. Yeah, true. 5 days. There's not like a 7. You know, fuck that. Who wants to fly out on a Sunday?
Crazy people.
Crazy people. Yeah, no, fuck that. I'm not doing that. So what'd you book for? Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday.
What time do you get in?
11.
What are your flight details? What's your flight number? JQ 74321. Someone calling a bomb threat.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Yeah, cool. And then also the fact that it's a good job collectively for everyone Explosion Net with them because Kieran's not here, but the fact that he filled out his press accreditation application already is sensational. Like he's done that. You've paid for flights and done everything.
Look, crazy.
You're all growing into well-formed adults.
Yeah. Only for the fuel crisis to continue, and then none of us can go. Because nobody can get anywhere.
How's the fuel crisis affecting you? How much are you?
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah,
you know, I've just been like filling with like short spurts. You know,
I was about to say with
like any
water.
Like, you know, anytime I feel like I'm close to a petrol station, maybe I'll just drop in and get $30 or something. You know,
and how much is $30? 2 liters.
Yeah, pretty much. Not all like 10 liters, and then you know, there we go.
What's the price?
Or something? Yeah.
What's the price where you got your last fuel? Do you know roughly?
I think it was like $2.25. I think. Which I think it's maybe $2.30, which is pretty good compared to some places, I believe.
So ours here just dropped, but it spent all of last week at around 2.7, 2.8. And now it's the government or whatever, you know, organised. I don't know. I can't fully understand who's enforcing these things, but anyway, one petrol station dropped it to $2.59, and that was a big deal. And everyone on Facebook that I have locally was sharing the news post from the Taz Petroleum is the company, sharing it, being like $2.59. It's like I cannot believe we're in a world where we're getting excited about fuel dropping to $2.59. That's crazy. Yeah. I reckon it probably higher here because of it's further to go.
It's further. Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy because, you know, I'm sure like me, you remember as a kid, it was like under $1 consistently. Like there was a point where they had to add the extra third digit because it started going that high. So thanks, boomers.
When I was working in the petrol station, I think if it went up to say 150-ish, 160-ish, that was like people were like grumpy. at the time. So
Yeah, I can imagine.
I can't
Sure, it's
imagine
terrible
now.
for them.
I cannot imagine working at a petrol station now. There's like I would have gotten into a fight with someone.
Especially when you hear that like some petrol stations like fuel, like they're completely out. Like,
But then people would be coming in, and I guarantee people would be going into and arguing with the people working there, and like blaming them for the shortage or something. Yeah, because there's no law, there's no rule technically about like stopping people from like
I'm sure you've seen that on social media, like the crazy people like 20 like gas cans in the back of their car or something like that.
Yeah,
mental.
It's like the toilet paper thing, but worse because it's fuel. So, and I mean, I don't know, like it's affecting every industry. The ripple effect's crazy. Like,
yeah, because you know, everything needs to be transported using fuel.
Yeah.
So thus, everything's going to be costing more.
Everything goes up in price, and thus everyone doesn't want to spend money on anything because everyone's spending money on fuel.
The one thing. Yeah.
So
do you regret not getting a fully electric car?
No. Like, it's just that, like, I still just don't think Tassie's set up well enough to accommodate that. Like, I see Teslas and stuff around. They're not like high amount compared to when you travel to a major city where it's a lot easier. And I see some, like, I'll drive past some of the charging places, but it's still that element of like constantly having to know there's only like, 2-3 options within like a 20k radius compared to more available fuel prices. I know some charging stations have opened since I purchased it, so they are increasing them. But yeah, no, it's not like I regret it. It's just is what it is. I will say that although I've had to spend, I think, like basically four fill up costs for me over the course, like the amount I've had to spend. It's still nice to know. It's still nice to know that my car is still costing me less than other people's cars because it is a hybrid. So at least I'm not like fully cooked.
I mean, most electric cars have like a 400 to 600 kilometer range. So I mean, you've got a place to charge it at home potentially. Would you?
You got to buy those things. Cost money is the other thing.
They
buy
do.
The home charging things.
Well,
they're expensive. So.
Yeah, all pays off in the end though.
Yeah. Well, so I'm getting. I think I get about 600 k's out of a tank. 600 and something k's out of a tank currently. Once I fill up, which is pretty good. But I could the day when the fuel first went up, the moment I could tell I was sort of fucked and annoyed. And I don't have to fill my car often. I will say that when the prices first went
Dylan
up,
has a hybrid. So.
Yeah. The day I first filled my car up was the weekend that the prices went up, and I went to Hobart. And I went there a few weeks ago when I went to Hobart, and I had a car full of people. Like, it was full back seat and passenger seat. It was the most full, and then my boot was full too. So I think I used more petrol than I usually would because of the weight within the car, using more. So I filled it up to drive down there, and then I had to fill it up to get back. Not that I was like on dead empty, but I needed more. And I could tell because I've done the Hobart trip enough times in that car now that I was like, oh, this is using more fuel than I usually would. And I just was like, it must be the amount of people and the amount of bags in the boot in my car. I could feel it like being weighed down because it's a small car. But that was the day I was like, motherfucker, why did this have to happen the time I did this trip? Because I went to fill up.
Trump, could you wait a week?
Yeah. Motherfucker, didn't you know I had a Hobart trip planned? I went to fill it up before I went to go, and I usually do it at, it's like so I usually put in $50 as like the preset amount. And I know they'll cover me. I never used to pay over $50 to fill my tank at this place. So I was used to preset 50, fill it up, and then it's like if whatever the difference between what I filled it up with and 50, you get refunded back to your bank account, right? So I remember that was the day I knew I was fucked because I put 50 in. I'm standing there filling up my car, and it clicks off. It's done, and I go, oh, but I still need more fuel. And I had to go back to the machine to like put more in. I was like, oh my fucking God, I've never had to put a preset amount higher than 50 in the entire time I've had this car. And then, had to fill it out down Hobart to come back. So I spent like $150 on fuel for that trip, where I would usually spend like $50. And I do take into account the fact that the car was weighed down and I was using more fuel and everything. But I was still like, this trip, every other time I'd done this Hobart trip, I would pay less than $50 and I would make it back both ways off that one amount, down and back. So I was a little bit annoyed. Is what it is. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Kill Trump?
Nothing.
Oh, who said that? What?
What?
What's going on? It's crazy.
Did Iran break our feed for a second?
Whoa, what's going on here? Yeah, and I can't imagine like I can only imagine retail stores. I'd presume prices of everything. Like everything
will eventually go up. Yeah,
if it's
a little bit now, but
I reckon they're going up a little bit because the freight companies will start charging more for the freight cost. So then the companies will start pushing. So it's like, imagine a company like, say, Samsung. So the freight company puts the cost up to deliver their goods across to Australia. And then being a Tassie, then they have to freight them down again. So there's another freight cost. So then the freight costs being charged extra to Samsung then puts that back on the consumer by upping the prices of the products, because now they're having to pay more to get their products into Australia. So then all the prices of their TVs, fridges, and shit like that will all go up too. The problem is, although this all makes perfect sense to anyone who's sane, there are going to be people out there who don't equate these things. And even if these same sorts of scenarios happen in America, they will still not equate it to whose fault it is, shockingly. Although there was that one woman, did you see that clip that went around this week? The random news reporter was like interviewing people at a gas station in America. Yeah. And it's like goes up to the lady. It's like, how do you feel about what would you like to say to Donald Trump if he's right here? It's like, you're I'll tell him he's a fucking idiot. Some.
A useless piece of shit, I believe.
Useless piece of shit. There we go. Yeah, useless piece of shit.
I voted for
him. He's like, and then the reporter's like, didn't you say you voted for him? She's like, yeah, I voted for him three times. I guess I'm the fucking idiot. I was like,
yes. Better late than never.
Yeah, I guess better late than never, but.
Yeah, it is a bit frustrating seeing everybody blame. Like, to an extent, what can the government do? Our government do about this strait being closed that's cutting off fuel? I guess, except have plan for this scenario where the US president decides to, and Israel decides to strike a foreign company and kill their leader.
Yeah. Well, the problem here. The answer to that question is a much larger one, because you see people arguing that this is why we need to drill more oils here and all that sort of stuff, which isn't the answer. The actual answer is the government should have, years ago, been putting more money into alternative energy.
Energy is not the problem, because technically we've still got
alternative fuel
sources. Yeah. Gone super hard on ethanol, sort of like even subsidized electric vehicles even more, because all that kind of stuff.
I'm like, the answer isn't drill, and that ain't going to happen overnight anyway. Joe Blow commenting on Facebook news website. The actual answer as to what the government should have done is, they should have invested more, should have seen the writing on the wall, or been more open to these sorts of things happening, and invested more in alternative sources. Even the whole electric car thing, like it's like 2040 or something. I can't remember the day off the top of my head. Like 2070, I don't know, some ridiculous number, like where they want the car manufacturers to be at a certain percentage or some shit. They set the date like so far out, aeons out, I'm like, okay, we'll all be dead by then. Like, currently, we're not to scare everyone. Not to scare everyone, but also, I would say we're currently crazy enough people. I think we're not in the age of not being scared to live your life a little and just do what you want, because we are living on the constant cusp of World War III and the end of the world. Not to be a little bit hyperbolic, but
yeah, I mean, the possibility of Trump going fuck it and launching a nuclear missile is not zero, which is not great.
So I wake up every morning and I think about that and I just go, fuck it.
You think, fuck, thanks to God Australia so far away from everywhere else.
I can't even think that because, you know, in We Bury the Dead, which is out now on VOD, shout out, you know, Umbrella, sponsor us, and pre-order the Blu-ray. But in We Bury the Dead, the plot of that movie is that Trump sets off that fucking nuke on the end of down near Hobart at the bottom of Tassie, and it wipes out Tassie. That's the plot of that movie.
Why?
Press the wrong button. I don't know.
That's where Airtel went. It's like they'll never find me in Tasmania.
I don't think they ever. I can't remember. I don't think they explain it. It's just in the opening of the movie. They're like, the president of the United States accidentally launched a missile or a nuke or whatever, and it just wiped out all of Tassie. I'm like, well, that could happen. Like, the chances are shockingly not zero.
Yeah, I mean, they accidentally shot down a school, so, you know, anything is possible.
Yeah. So
pretty grim.
Yeah. You know, if you're thinking about eating that chocolate bar,
just go ahead, because you never know.
Yeah. Thinking about asking out that cute girl at that works at your local Subway, and you're scared of it, I say just do it, because we could all be dead soon.
But also make sure it's like age appropriate and like you're not
sorry,
because maybe we won't be dead soon.
Sorry,
There's
to clarify, I didn't know if is that necessary to clarify?
I feel like it. I don't want to give the green light to all these weirdos out.
Okay, let me rephrase. If you see a cute guy or girl or whatever happens to be your taste who works at a local shop in which you constantly visit and you think, man, they're great, and you've already worked out that they are definitely age appropriate and good for you, and there's no thing wrong or illegal about the scenario, I say take your shot and ask that person out, because we could be dead tomorrow. Better? Is that?
Yeah, that's better.
Cool. Thank you. Let's record our co-cast.